So, it has been just a few days since Google launched Genie 3, and people have already recreated most of GTA 6 with it. People are also creating really insane-looking 3D explorable worlds. Today, we are going to take a look at some insane examples of 3D worlds that people have created with Genie 3. So, first, let's take a look at this world. The obvious thing about this 3D world is that it is not realistic, and that is the main point. Genie 3 does not just copy the real world. It can also create really good 3D worlds in any kind of art style. The main thing about this 3D game world is that this kind of 3D art style is not even possible to be created with traditional gaming software. There was a recent trend on Twitter, now X, where people asked developers to create the specific look of these kinds of worlds through 3D game engines, and no developer was able to create a 3D world in this kind of art style. But now Genie 3 is able to do that very easily. As you can see, everything here is consistent and is not distorted in any way. Even when the player is turning around, nothing in the scene is getting distorted. This is a really cool 3D world that was generated by Genie 3. And another really cool use case of Genie 3 is that you can explore paintings using it. If there is a painting and you take a picture of it and upload it into Genie 3, then it is going to enable you to explore that painting and even generate a really good 3D world around it. This is all happening in real time, so there is no actual delay in these kinds of movements and the button presses. This is a painting by Jacques-Louis David called The Death of Socrates, and it fantastically shows the emotion in the scene while recreating the image in 3D. The crazy thing is that it keeps the emotion on the faces of every person. For example, all these people are sad, and you will be able to clearly understand their emotions through any camera angle. That is really impressive. This AI model can create consistent faces without making them distorted. Here is another example of a painting which has been created into a 3D world by Genie 3. This painting is called Nighthawks by the painter Edward Hopper. As you can see, even here with different kinds of camera movement, the environment is pretty consistent and is actually related to the image. So it is not like Genie 3 is going to generate a desert here instead of a road because it understands the context of the image, which is really cool. Now let's talk about realistic 3D generations of Genie 3. This is a pretty realistic 3D world generated by Genie 3. And one thing I want you to notice here is that Genie 3 completely understands depth. It is not like you are only going to be able to move forward and backward and just go through things with height. Unlike what happens in other world-building models, here Genie 3 actually understands depth. The same is the case with this example of a 3D world created by Genie 3. As you can see, the tires of the car actually react to the terrain. The tires move up and down, along with the camera, depending on the uneven terrain of this mountainous region. Some people are even saying that future generations of the Genie 3 model are going to be AGI because it can simulate physics really well, and it has a completely different architecture than normal LLMs. One of the main reasons for this is shown in this chart. As you can see, in this chart, you can see the growth of normal LLMs, which people thought would be the future of AI, like Gemini 2.5 Pro and GPT-5. But as you can see here, LLMs have hit a wall. Before GPT-4o, people saw tremendous jumps in improvement, but after GPT-4o, progress has slowed down. There have been more and more model releases, but for normal people, you wouldn't even be able to spot the difference between most of these reasoning models. Like if I gave you O3 and Grok 4, most likely, you are not going to be able to differentiate which model is which because of their very slight difference in performance. As you can see, these models have started to consolidate. Even GPT-5 has been a huge flop. People thought GPT-5 would completely change the world as we know it, but instead it was just another slow and underwhelming model release like the others. Since 2025, we have gotten many AI models, but even though the quantity of AI models is increasing, the quality is not improving at the same rate. So people are saying that LLMs are not the future anymore. They will just be chatbots for people to pass time with and study. This slowdown is insane, and anybody who is in the AI space will clearly understand that the LLMs have truly hit a wall. Now, people are considering the Genie 3 model of Google to be the right path to AGI because it can realistically simulate 3D worlds that can be used to train robots and even run physics experiments. In the near future, people think that these 3D world AI models will automatically run science experiments within themselves and derive actual results applicable in the real world. Given the growth of these world models, you can clearly see the difference between Genie 2 and Genie 3. It is quite plausible that we are going to get AGI through world models in a year or two, and it is definitely going to be the next big thing. Just look at the difference between Genie 2 and Genie 3. These models are only a year apart, and there seems to be no wall in the AI progress of world models of AI-generated 3D environments. Now let's talk about how people are using Genie 3 to recreate GTA 6. Obviously, you can't just paste GTA images from GTA 6 trailers into Genie 3 and ask it to generate a world from them, because that would be copyright infringement and you would most likely get sued. So people have created realistic 3D worlds with the same graphics quality as GTA 6. Keep in mind that these worlds take only a minute or two to generate, whereas GTA 6 has taken more than 10 years and still has not been launched. Just look at the water physics here. When a person steps into the water, the reaction of the liquid to the solid foot of the person is completely natural, with no distortion. Here is another example of a realistic world generated by Genie 3. In this world, you can walk and interact with objects, like opening car doors. It is very easy for the AI model to create realistic interactions with the environment it generates. You are able to interact with the environment, not just walk around. So if GTA 6 keeps getting delayed, I am pretty sure we will have an AI GTA 7 before the actual release of GTA 6. At the rate at which Google's world models are improving, I think that within 5 to 6 months, we will be able to create a completely realistic world with interactable options for different objects in about 3 minutes. This AI technology is going to completely revolutionize gaming, destroy game engines like Unreal Engine and Unity, and take almost all the jobs from game developers. It might also revolutionize physics, science, and technology as we know it.